Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video, and welcome to the first episode of my season preview for the 2023 Monster Energy AMA Supercross season. Obviously, of course, took a bit of a gap year as you noticed last year with my season previews. With my season previews. Did it in 2021, did it in 2022. I'm doing it again in 2023. And there's a lot of things to talk about, and also, by the way, hold your pants, guys, if your favourite rider is not in this episode. There are 5 others as well that are going to go in this episode, so hold your horses. So we're gonna in this first episode we're gonna talk about the 3 main title contenders, or they've mainly been talked about, and the 3 most active, and the 3 active, and also how appropriately the 3 active champions in the 450 class right now, in reigning champion Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, and Cooper Webb. But before getting to any of these 3 riders, we have to talk about the new Super Motocross World Championship that is going to be in place this year. So traditionally, we've had, of course, the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Series and the Lucas Oil Pro AMA Pro Motocross Series separately. But this year it's going to be different. It's going to be unified. It's still going to be a separate series, but in a way, it's going to be together in a ways where and I think where the format is that the top 20 riders, I heard it was from both the Supercross and Motocross series, but I think it's combined. I haven't read much into the rules really. Probably should have before I press record, to be honest. But of course it's 31 races. It's gonna be 17 Supercross races, 11 Pro Motocross rounds. I should say 17 rounds, and then it all caps off with 3 playoff races inside the LA Coliseum. And apparently, I heard that the prize pool is going to be 10. It's going to be off. Last I heard it was $1 million, but this one I heard it's about 10 million. I think I might be. I should be 100% wrong, but in terms of the prize pool, please someone comment down below if it is $1 million or more, something like that. But yeah. You have to be to qualify for these 3 playoff races. You have to be top 20 combined. I wonder if at some point they're probably gonna change the rules, and just maybe if you do what they do with the playoff system in the NASCAR Cup Series, where they basically in the regular season, if you win a race, you can automatically qualify for the playoffs. I wonder if this is going to happen here, where if you win, if for example someone has only won a Supercross race, but not in the Pro Motocross scene, they could still be in the 3 playoff rounds. I think for me, if 2 champions, like for example this year, Eli Tomac wins the Supercross title and Chase Sexton wins the Motocross title, both of those riders automatically go into this. I'd assume that's going to be the format. But but it's a new era really. This is really because we all argue, who's the best dirt bike rider in the world. I wonder if at some point in the future, some MXGP riders enter into this too. I would love to see maybe, I don't know, the top 5 in the MXGP Championship enter into this to make this a true world championship, and basically see who is really the best dirt bike rider in the world. That's what I would love to see in the future. Maybe I'll do a separate video maybe when the actual free race playoff for the Super Motocross World Championship comes around. As well, and by the looks of things, in terms of the Super Motocross thing, it kind of reminds me of the old Monster Energy Cup. I remember rightly when they raced that from 2011 to 2019. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they had to stop that. They had to, pull the plug on it. But it was really successful in a way where basically where, the overall winner gets $100,000 bucks, but if a rider wins all 3 main events, you get $1 million. You win $1 million bucks. So yeah, this is probably a sort of a successor to that with the 3 playoff races, because all 3 of them. I think I need to check it out. Check out the schedule. I think it's in 3 different weeks. I think, and I wonder if it's going to be 3 different track layouts. I'd assume so, if it's 3 different weeks. So that's probably it in terms of the Supercross. I would go on longer into this, but I've got 3 riders to discuss. So let's get into the actual Supercross season. Really, the first cap off the rank, the first rider I want to talk about is, of course, the champ. Of course, Eli Tomac. Of course, 2022, obviously he switched from Monster Energy Kawasaki to the Star Racing Yamaha. New lease on life for Eli, and he pretty much had a dream 2022 season. Any every single championship and every single one-off race or something like that he lined up in, he won. Like the Supercross title, the Pro Motocross title, only just pimped Chase Sexton in the end. Won MX Nations with the US. Won his one-off outing in the World Supercross Championship in the British GP at Cardiff. A couple months ago, won the Paris Supercross. Won at the Paris Supercross. So it was pretty much a dream 2022 season for him, a dream debut season for Yamaha. To be honest with you, I had my doubts. I thought that, he would struggle, like the stats show. Like these are not true. These are not true. This is the fact. This is not like these are not true. These are facts. That in 2014, in his first season with Geico Honda, he struggled. He sort of struggled, basically. He missed most of that season. 2016, his first year on the Monster Energy Kawasaki, he only had 1 win that season. And then, of course, in 2015 and 2017, of course, we all know what happened in 2017, really did push Ryan Dungey to the title that year. And, of course, finished second, of course, to Dunge, obviously, in 2015, in his second year with Geico Honda. But I thought that he was going to struggle. Like I thought that his season this year in Supercross was going to be what's going to be this year. But after when he won the 4th round, he just never looked back. he never looked back. At one point, he won 5 races in a row. Sealed the championship with 2 rounds to go. It was a bit of a it was just absolutely dominant season for him. It was a little bit harder with in the pro motocross scene as well. MX of Nations, of course, won there with Team USA. The British GP won that one too, and then the Paris Supercross only won the 1 race there. But yeah, of course, 2023 is currently right now as we speak on a Supercross only deal with the Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha team. So we still don't know if he's going to compete in the Pro Motocross Championship and defend another motocross title, or is it that going to be it? I mean, he has to be up there as one of the greats of all time. I think, in my opinion, I think he's won. I think over 44. I think he's overtaken Chad Reed on the all-time Supercross wins list. He's won. He's won everything there is. Well, almost everything. He's won a 250. He's won a 250 title in the Supercross ranks in 2012. Won a 250 Supercross West Championship. He's a four-time pro motocross champion, and he's now a 2-time 450 Supercross champion. He has to be up there now as one of the greatest of all time, one of the greats, alongside with lots of McGrath, Stewart, Carmichael, Reed, up there in amongst the greats, amongst the greats of his generation, no doubt, and it leads me on to the topic: is this his final year of racing? Is this his final year of racing? And I think I have a feeling that if he does win the Super Motocross World Championship, if he wins it, then I have a feeling that this will be his last season. I think if he wins everything, that will be a bit of a bonus. Really, just retire on a high. Do a lot of like the two recent guys that done this. Ryan Villapoto and Ryan Dungey. They retired at the top. I mean, Villapoto 4 straight Supercross championships, two motocross championships. Even though he semi-retired basically to try and have a go at MXGP, didn't work in the end. But he retired from Supercross at the top of his game. Same too did Dungey. Even though 2017 was a bit of an up and down year, but he retired he retired at the top of his game, pretty much. I won't be surprised if Eli does the same. I think, in my opinion, the only thing for me that would doubt him, that leads me to doubt on Eli Tomac winning another championship, is Yamaha itself. Because apparently there is a new Yamaha have a new bike at their disposal. For both Eli Tomac and Dylan Ferrandis on that Star Racing Yamaha team. Some people say that possibly that might, and with Eli Tomac, if one of you guys don't, for some of you guys that don't know, Tomac actually raced most of the 2022 Supercross season most of the second half of the 2022 Supercross season with a knee injury. It wasn't until when he wrapped up the title he decided to have some surgery on it, and that's how he missed the final 2 races, and that's when, of course, Anderson won both races, and that's how the championship got so close. Got closer because got close because obviously he was out, but the title was already won anyways. And then, of course, with the new bike, him being injury free, could be back to back. Supercross championships. But if you look over the shoulder, look over at KTM last season, you can tell that they didn't have a good time on with their new bike, and which we'll talk about which I'll talk about KTM and Cooper Webb in a bit. But that's my only concern. I'm gonna say this for the end of the video, but might as well do this right now. The most under pressure of all of these, I was going to say Tomac just because to back up, it's going to be pretty hard to back up his success in 2022. But at the very last second, before I switched to record on this video, I switched to the very last second to Yamaha because of the new bike factor. I mean, they're not the only ones that get new bikes. I remember Gas with Justin Barshett. Yeah, he's going to get a new bike with the Gas factory team. They're going to get new bikes. Get a new bike. And generally, KTM proved last season that a new bike system does not work. It takes time, and I won't be surprised if Tomac, and you saw what happened to him in 2021. He started the season off quite badly when he finished 14th in the first round, and it just basically put him behind the 8 ball. And from the other 16 rounds, he was actually quite consistent. He was running up in the top 10, top 5s, podiums, had a couple of wins. It was just the first round that let him down in the end. I think he finished up about 3rd, in the championship that year in 2021 when he defended his 2020 Supercross title. But I'm concerned that the exact same thing is going to happen to Eli. That he'll have a very good 15, 16 rounds, but that one round is going to cost him big. And all because of him getting used to the new bike. And I've seen vids of him from his Instagram account of him riding the new bike. He looks really good on it, by the way. But I think for me, that's the only concern. I think for me, Yamaha, they are the best. I think that they have the best. They have the best bike in Supercross. They have the best team on board with them in Star Racing, and the best rider in Eli Tomac. That is the most pressure. And if their new bike fails this year, then all sorts of speculation is going to be on them about this new bike. The same to like KTM are doing from last year to this. So all the pressure's going to be on Yamaha really as well. So of course Tomac, won the Supercross title, but challenged for most of the season was Jason Anderson. Now these are the two riders I doubted the most last year. Tomac, I thought you would struggle to get to grips with the Yamaha after being on the Kawasaki for 6 years. And once I found out that Jason Anderson was his replacement at Monster Energy Kawasaki, I thought, seriously? He hasn't been himself. He hasn't been the same rider ever since he won the 2018 Supercross Championship. We've dashed the brilliance here and there since then, but nothing spectacular since then. And there was a lot of others they could have chosen. They could have chosen Faulkner. They could have chosen, McAdoo. Most likely probably Faulkner, but probably McAdoo and all that probably had a chance there. But you're going with him. I mean, seriously. And then he's just gone like a big FU to me and basically finished second in the championship and won 7 races. including the final 2 races of the season, of the season. And some might argue that he probably could have won the championship if he stayed out of trouble. I mean, there was several incidents, with Malcolm Stewart, and then there was the incident San Diego with Ken Roxon. The question, I think, and also, I think for me, I mean, if there's anybody that will challenge Eli, I think it'll be him. And from what I've heard, he's been fantastic on the test track pre-season. Lots of things happening to him off the track as well. He just got married. He's got a kid on the way as well, which might make him even more mature. Which would be great. As I said, for his maturity levels, with him having a kid around, I think for me, judging by his form in 2022, I think he is going to be up there fighting for the conversation. I rate him very highly for the 2022 Supercross Championship, very, very highly, to be honest. I was very impressed with him last season, and by the sounds of things, I've been very impressed with how he's gone about things pre-season in 2023 as well. Now we get into the main story of this, or not main story, but the main rider to talk about in this, and team and manufacturer, and that is KTM, Red Bull KTM, and Cooper Webb. Obviously, as I said, they bought out new bike parts, new bike for the 2022 season. That obviously did not work. It obviously did not work. He finished up 7th in the championship for his defense of the title. Won no races. He had a couple of podiums as well, but he mostly struggled in this season. The question is asked: do I still think Cooper's a title contender? Yes, definitely. He's a 2-time Supercross champion. He's not won 2 Supercross titles by fluke. By fluke. He proved 2021 that 2019 title was no fluke. And the most thing about this is in recent times, I've watched Supercross since I was little. Once I was about 9 years of age, when I saw those epic battles with Stewart and Reed in 2009. I came back to the sport in 2017 through the Supercross games. For the last 5-6 years of being a fan of Supercross, I've learned 2 things. The first one is Supercross form and motocross form are 2 very different things, but the second thing I've learned is do not doubt Cooper Webb, because otherwise he's gonna go F you and just win a 3rd Supercross title. You can't down him. Some people even said, even come out and said, possibly, I think Cooper even admitted himself that he's washed up, and it's massive, just massive, really, massive, really, that someone is not even now considered to be a title contender, and champions have bad seasons. We all know that. We all know that. Except for the greatest ones. I mean, some of the greatest of all time. Like Stewart, like for example, James Stewart. He had his bad seasons. When he in the latter half of his career. It doesn't doubt him as a champion. I think he is the most he's one of the toughest, or probably the toughest rider that is ever in this field. And if you think that because of that 2022 season he's not going to be motivated enough and it's going to be continuing on the downhill slide, you are 100% 10% fucking wrong, because that's in Cooper's words, because he loves it when people doubt him, because when they do, he just goes full blown beast mode and just decides, you know what, I'm gonna win another championship. So yeah. But if things do not go well at KTM, there's been speculation and rumors swirling around about the 2024 silly season. One of them being Cooper Webb. Apparently, there's speculation that this could be his final season at Red Bull KTM. There's even rumors that he could go back to start racing Yamaha, the team that he had two PT Supercross championships with. Even because I watched this inspiration for this series was race. I watched for the last few years the Racer X Supercross preview shows, and one of the hosts on there, Jason Thomas, who is also a former Supercross pro himself, he even came out and said there's the possibility that he could go to where because there was recent rumors that Chase Sexton, and we'll talk about Chase Sexton in one of the episodes, 2, 3, or 4, who knows, that Sexton could possibly be a straight swap, basically, in Sexton going to Red Bull KTM and Cooper Webb joining Team Honda HRC, which in my opinion, I've said no, that's not going to happen. I think it's either going to go two ways for me for Coop. Either he stays at Red Bull KTM for the future, or he goes back to Yamaha. There's no, it's either KTM or Yamaha for me if I was Coop in the end. So yeah, and if I was Coop, I would stay at KTM because if you think about it here, I know Tomac is going to retire, but there's plenty of others waiting in the wings. There's Justin Cooper that's waiting in the wings there. I know they've previously have delved into free bikes. Like 2021, they had Plessinger, Malcolm Stewart, and Dylan Ferrandis in 2021. So they do have a bit of history of riding free bikes, but I don't think they want to do that since now they've got Tomac and Ferrandis. I think it's better off for Cooper Webb to just stay at KTM. KTM really, for me, because I think that's the more viable place he's going to go, really, to be honest, with you on that one. So yeah. So I've talked about Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, and Cooper Webb. Said the most under pressure for this season is Yamaha. My spotlight rider, who I think is going to be the best out of these three in 2023, is Jason Anderson. I think the form he showed last season in the Supercross season, is having a second year now with Monster Energy Kawasaki, and things going well personally outside of Supercross in his personal life for him, really, he's really, I've really been impressed with him ever since he's gone to Monster Energy Kawasaki, and there's no doubt he's going to be one of the heavy favourites for this Supercross championship, and just prove for years and years, ever since he won the 2018 title. Is he going to be the next Jeff Emig? Jeff Emig, of course, he won the 1997 250 Supercross championship, the Premier Class championship, and he never won another one after that. Some people are saying that Anderson was going to be another version of him, and this year can prove that those talks can be permanently put to bed, and be a two-time Supercross champion. So I'm expecting big things really in 2023 from Jason Anderson. So that is it for this first episode. As I said, don't worry, there are 4 other episodes. So like this video, share this to anybody who is a massive Supercross fan. Comment down below who do you tip out of these 3 most likely to win the title? Do you think it'll be Tomac, Anderson, Webb? And also at the same time, do you think Tomac, if you tip Tomac to win the title, do you think that he'll do the same thing to what he did last year? Do you think he'll win everything? I'd like to hear your opinions. And one last thing, somewhere down there, the big red, click on the big red button which is labeled subscribe. But until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and wherever you may be, may the sun or the moon shine on you. Hopefully it shines on one of these 3 in 2023.